The Young and the Restless spoilers update for Tuesday, November 18th reveals that Cain Ashby will make a big Phyllis Summers mistake, while Nick Newman gains a new partner against Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall. In Los Angeles, Nick's been trying to handle the Matt situation without giving Victor Newman updates on what's really going on. That plan won't last much longer since Victor will indeed join the fight against Matt in Tuesday's show. Nick probably should have informed Victor sooner, since his dad's the kind of guy who gets things done. Victor will show no mercy as he joins forces with Nick and kicks off a vengeful Matt scheme. Of course, Nick and Victor will have to be careful since Noah Newman is still at risk. Sharon Newman has more unsettling Matt moments ahead too, so Nick and Victor will need to be smart about how they move forward with retaliating. Back in Genoa City, Nikki Newman will face Jack Abbott's grilling session. Although Nikki is aware, Victor got the AI program from Phyllis and used it on Cain. That's as far as her knowledge goes right now. Despite all Jack's questions, Nikki won't be able to give him any real intel that could protect Jabot. Jack will remain on edge as he plays this waiting game with Victor and worries about when his enemy will deliver a blow. In Phyllis's room at the GCAC, she may convince Cain to go all the way with her. Since Y&R spoilers say Cain and Phyllis will kick their sizzling up a notch, they may lose the clothes and get under the covers for this next part. That could be a big mistake for Cain, since Lily Winters appears to be rethinking the changes he's made and their potential future. Lily is Cain's true love, so he may wish he hadn't hopped in Phyllis's bed once he hears his ex's latest voicemail. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Lily may have a negative reaction if she hears the news of Cain and Phyllis's passionate encounter, so stay tuned. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Pulse Canvas. It's me, Julie here. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Keep watching, so let's dive into today's video. The Young and the Restless scoop for the week of November 17th reveals Cain Ashby will sleep with Phyllis Summers. Also coming up, Nick Newman will give Victor Newman surprising news. Plus, Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall will be in a tough spot, and Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti's wedding will begin. Y&R spoilers tease Christine and Danny will prepare to tie the knot, as their friends and family gather for the ceremony. Special guests at the wedding will include Danny's sister Gina Romalotti and Christine's close friend Nina Webster. But will Phyllis put in an unwanted appearance? In LA, Nick will call Victor and fess up about Matt Clark being alive and in LA. No doubt, the mustache will use his resources to help his son get the better of his nemesis. Later in the week, Nick will do some sleuthing on what Matt's been up to while they all thought he was dead. Meanwhile, Sienna and Noah will find themselves trapped in unfamiliar surroundings. Sienna will wake Noah up and he'll ask where they are. Of course, Sienna will have no idea, but it'll be obvious to both of them that her husband put them there. Other Y&R spoilers tease Jack Abbott will grill Nikki Newman. Plus, Sharon Newman will stand up to Matt, and Lily Winters will sympathize with Holden Novak. Finally, Cain will take Phyllis out to dinner and then suggest she invite him up to her room for a nightcap. Once they're in her suite, he'll continue to press her about stealing his AI software. Not surprisingly, Phyllis will deny it. "You're beautiful, wickedly smart, and you're brilliant at the art of deception," Cain will tell the fiery redhead. Phyllis will say they both are. "We're a match made in heaven." Cain will draw her into a steamy smooch and their passion will explode. But is Cain playing Phyllis? Stay tuned. Hey Y&R fans, are you enjoying the new CBS Sudser Beyond the Gates? Then make sure you join our free Facebook group. Keep reading the Soap Scoop for Young and the Restless spoilers and news. And make sure to also join our Y&R Facebook group or leave us a reply in our comments section. But if you miss an episode, don't fret. You can watch The Young and the Restless online at cbs.com. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 3 weeks, November 17th to December 5th, reveal that evil Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall, will ultimately hit Genoa City. So Sharon Newman and Nick Newman will be unable to contain the threat. The week of November 17th to 21 will bring Victor Newman in as backup for Nick, who'll need some help taking Matt down. Nick will do some investigating and try to score enough dirt to put Matt in his place, while Victor plots against him as well. Sharon will have a bit of a freakout when Matt shows up at her hotel room, but she'll gather her courage and take a firm stand against him anyway. As for Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall, it seems they'll find themselves held hostage together thanks to Matt and Detective Burrow's upcoming moves. Another detective named Annie Stewart will soon get involved, so it's possible she'll help with the search for Sienna and Noah in the end. Back in Genoa City, Cain Ashby will get hot and heavy with Phyllis Summers while Lily Winters mulls over Cain's transformation and whether a reunion is possible. However, Lily and Holden Novak will end up having a little pity party for themselves later. That could lead to Holden and Lily connecting romantically depending on where Y&R is going with this. Regardless, Holden will feel caught in the middle of Claire Newman and Audra Charles's feud, which will bring more fierce warnings and a sneaky plan from Audra soon enough. Next, Christine Blair will get ready to walk down the aisle as her wedding to Danny Romalotti begins on November 21st. This two-part ceremony will continue on November 24th, so there'll be plenty of time for wedding day drama. Problematic Phyllis may cause troubling news for Danny and Christine as the week of November 24th to 28 gets underway. Y&R spoilers say Nina Webster and Gina Roma will serve as guests along with other familiar faces at this long-awaited event. No matter what hurdles are ahead, Christine and Danny will indeed seal the deal with some emotional vows. As for Daniel Romalotti Jr. and Tessa Porter, their upcoming performance will inevitably lead to more flying sparks. Will Tessa and Daniel land in bed together after the wedding reception wraps up? The week of December 1st to 5 may finally bring Sharon, Nick, and Noah home to Genoa City. But the threat of Matt's revenge will follow. Sienna will head to GC2 and will presumably continue her romance with Noah, so she'll remain involved in all this. Although Nick and Sharon will think they've successfully defeated Matt, he won't be done wreaking havoc. Matt will head to Genoa City next and deliver some of his most crushing blows yet, so they'd better be prepared for anything. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Matt will prove he's a wicked force to be reckoned with. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Lily Winters may kiss Holden Novak as discouraged hearts collide. Will Cain Ashby end up fuming over this hot twist? Lily recently spied Phyllis Summers stealing a smooch from Cain, but he downplayed it as another one of Phyllis's games. Cain acted like he was working an angle with Phyllis and launched another Lily reunion attempt, but Lily pushed him too far in the end. After facing so many rejections from Lily, Cain ultimately realized he'd never be good enough for her and turned his full attention to Phyllis instead. The week of November 17th to 21st will really bring the heat between Phyllis and Cain. It looks like Cain and Phyllis are going to land in bed together, so they'll step out of the business associate and friend zone. However, Lily will start to have second thoughts about repeatedly pushing Cain away. After Lily finally recognizes that Cain's truly been trying to fix things, she'll perhaps see that she's judged him too harshly. Of course, Cain and Phyllis's bedroom development could rattle Lily if she gets updates. Lily may rethink things once again and wonder about Cain's true feelings if he could ditch her for Phyllis so fast. Cain went from fighting hard for a Lily reunion to surrendering to Phyllis the same night, so that may give Lily pause once again. Meanwhile, we've got Holden, who'll be feeling a little used and rejected by Claire Newman. Claire was all about having fun with Holden in Los Angeles, but she pulled back after their night together and his confession about what went down with Audra Charles. Once Claire clarifies that she doesn't want a new romance with Holden and may not even want to go to bed with him again, he'll be feeling some tough emotions along with Lily. It's easy to see why Lily and Holden will feel like kindred spirits in Y&R's November 19th episode. Holden and Lily will do some bonding, so they might share some drinks and vent to each other a bit. Since Cain was so quick to sizzle with Phyllis, will Lily do the same with Holden? We could certainly imagine Lily kissing Holden in the heat of the moment, so Cain might walk in just in time to see it and fume. The Young and the Restless spoilers, Holden and Lily have a bonding session coming up no matter what, so stay tuned for any other romantic news that might develop. Last week on The Young and the Restless, Tessa returned to Genoa City, once again devastated in the wake of another rejection from Mariah. She attempted to visit her wife at the Boston clinic, but she was turned away by doctors who claimed Mariah wasn't accepting any visitors. Tessa appeared to reach a breaking point regarding her marriage, and went so far as to mention the word divorce when speaking to Daniel about the situation. After months of trying to break through to Mariah, Tessa's lost all hope of reaching her, believing her marriage to be past the point of no return. Daniel has been a consistent shoulder for Tessa to lean on during the entire ordeal, and the two recently slept together after a night of drinking at the GCAC. Although Tessa admitted she didn't regret what they had done, at the time, she told Daniel that she remained married to Mariah and loved her wife, planning to reconcile. However, the latest rejection from Mariah left Tessa singing a different tune to Daniel. This time, it appears to be paving the way for a future between the pair. It's safe to say that viewers are not taking kindly to the idea of one of the only same-sex couples in daytime being torn apart for the sake of pairing Tessa and Daniel together. Fans are not pleased, and they aren't shy about expressing that across social media. The one thing I always thought I could rely on with YR was Mariah and Tessa as a couple, and now they are being ripped apart, which as a queer viewer is so incredibly hurtful. Ask Taraya, one viewer shared. Nothing is going to make sense until Tessa and Mariah can have a proper discussion. JG doesn't want them saying more than a few words to each other for some damn reason, YR. Another fan wrote, "Do you guys think Tessa should stop crying on Daniel's shoulder, knowing how he feels about her? If Mariah all of a sudden wants to fight for her marriage, Daniel is going to get hurt." Masha YR, Young and the Restless, a viewer tweeted. Chemistry doesn't matter to JG. Look what he's done to Mariah and Tessa. Their chemistry is top tier, and no other couple on that show even comes close to matching it. He is trying to recreate the same chemistry between Daniel and Tess, and it is not working. Wired and Taraya, one fan stated. I also think it's over. I honestly don't even know if I care anymore. What really gets to me is them painting Mariah as a monster while Tessa and Daniel are living out a love story, a viewer posted. They knew how strong Mariah and Tessa's relationship was. They had to really destroy them to get Dan a story, really. We see it. The sad part is that you could have made a difference, but chose not to, one fan said. How much is Tessa supposed to take? How long can we expect Tessa to hold on before she truly has to let Mariah go? A viewer questioned. No Taraya spoilers, but I'd be surprised if Mariah didn't show up to the wedding. It only makes sense that she would show up just as Tessa is about to call it quits, one fan predicted. Why isn't Tessa doing the same? Fight more to help Mariah? A viewer asked. The only couple that had chemistry was Mariah and Tessa, and that definitely is the writing. Now Tessa has to pretend to have chemistry with this guy who is her friend. We shall see what happens. 'Cause the chemistry is not there. YR Taraya, a disheartened viewer shared. The last time viewers physically saw Mariah, she was being tormented by what she believed to be a hallucination of Ian Ward. However, viewers knew that Ian survived being shot by Victor, so there's a high likelihood that he's somehow involved in keeping her locked up in the Boston clinic for longer than she needs to be there. The doctors are the ones calling the shots about the level of communication that Mariah can have, so if Ian's actually there, it's likely he's the one making a calculated effort to shut Tessa out. Tessa, on the other hand, has nothing but time on her side to grow closer to Daniel. Not only are they both attending Danny and Christine's pending nuptials, but they're scheduled to perform at the event in some capacity. With Mariah located across the country, the pair has the means and opportunity to deepen their burgeoning connection. However, despite Tessa's insistence that divorce is the only option left, Mariah's return to town would instantly complicate things. It's entirely possible that Mara will return in the 11th hour and look to reclaim her marriage, finding herself in an unexpected power struggle for Tessa's affection. Regardless of the outcome, viewers on social media are incensed by the audacity to split one of their favorite couples. Another maddening aspect of the storyline is its inconsistent airing schedule. A lot happens off-camera, including Tessa and Daniel's quest for answers, and Tessa's latest attempt to visit Mariah. Between the off-camera progressions and the show rarely running the beat, it's hard to remain invested, and the events unfolding on screen are less than ideal for a passionate and vocal fan base. The Young and the Restless spoilers update for the week of November 17th to 21st. reveals that Claire Newman will get schooled while Nick Newman goes digging. Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall, will also corner Sharon Newman, so there'll be a lot happening in Genoa City. First, Cain Ashby will cave in when it comes to his attraction to Phyllis Summers, so there'll be some hot moments in her room at the GCAC. Meanwhile, Lily Winters will finally start to understand Cain's perspective a bit better. But will this realization come too late? This whole sizzling mess with Cain and Phyllis could cause all kinds of problems. Lily will eventually do some commiserating with Holden Novak, who'll be dealing with romantic drama of his own. Although Holden was hoping to build something new with Claire Newman, she'll pump the brakes on him. Holden will also have to worry about Claire pestering him for more information on his past with Audra Charles. We'll see Holden deal with another grilling session and put a stop to Claire's next face-off with Audra, too. However, Audra isn't the kind of gal who lets people push her around, especially someone like Claire. That's why Audra's going to plot her retaliation after Claire delivers some threats, but her move could backfire if she's not careful. In the meantime, Y&R spoilers say Claire will have some questions for Nicky Newman. It turns out Claire's going to get schooled on some history, so she might get updates on Matt Clark once news spreads about his return. Nicky may tell Claire some awful stories about how far Matt took things against Sharon, as well as Nick in the past. Although Matt always brings a horror show when he resurfaces, Sharon won't cower in fear when he corners her at her hotel room. Will Matt finally drop the Mitch act and show off his most sinister self? Regardless, Victor Newman will find out the latest Matt shockers and resolve to help Nick defeat him. After Victor helps with some plotting, Nick will search for intel that he can use against Matt in the coming episodes. As for Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall, they'll find themselves stuck in Matt's trap. Detective Burrow will apparently help Matt create a captivity situation, so Sienna and Noah may need some help escaping soon. On a happier note, Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti's nuptials will begin, so that'll bring some sweet moments and set the stage for a little wedding day drama. The Young and the Restless spoilers hint that Phyllis may not be able to resist stirring the pot, so stay tuned. Claire is desperate to find out Audra's past, but does it even matter anymore? On The Young and the Restless's November 17th episode, Claire threatens Audra. She might have exposed her growing obsession with her. Claire didn't come back from Los Angeles with a lust for Holden. Apparently, she does have a lust for revenge on Audra. Claire asked Holden about his past with Audra. Y&R fans are disappointed in their secret because he shared a sanitized version. However, she has no idea what really went on in LA. But she's a smart cookie who knows there's more to the story. On Monday's episode, Claire and Holden bring Audra up as she walks into Crimson Lights. Audra wondered if they were a couple. Claire brought up the shadow room and asked if Victor would get his money back since Audra failed to seduce Kyle. Audra claimed that Kyle is obsessed with her, but she's wrong. Claire is the one who's becoming obsessed with her. She wants to use Audra's past as a means of ammunition. During their heated conversation, Claire asked Audra what it's called when someone accepts money to perform sexual acts. Holden tried to calm the ladies down, but it didn't work. Audra warned Claire to tread carefully, but Claire wasn't going to back down. She made it clear that Audra has no job and no family, but little does she know that Sally and Billy offered her a job, although that's on hold for now. Before their confrontation escalated, Claire pushed Audra and told her that she still hadn't answered her question. Then, Claire threatened Audra that everyone would soon find out her dirty little secret. Claire enjoys poking the bear, meaning Audra. She wants to find out about her past, so she can use it against her. But why? Isn't it a little too late for that? What does knowing Audra's secret going to do for her? Claire doesn't want Kyle back, and she doesn't want to jump into a relationship with Holden. She ended up choosing herself in the end. So, why is Claire obsessed with Audra? It's not because she's jealous of her. She might still have an unhealthy fixation on getting revenge. We already know that when Claire gets obsessed with someone, it leads her down a dark path. That happened when Claire and her great-aunt Jordan tried to kill the Newmans. Should Audra watch her back? The last thing she should do is poke back, especially when she knows about Claire's past. Claire and Audra's rivalry erupted again, but it was Holden's reaction that turned the moment into a turning point neither woman saw coming. In the November 17th episode of The Young and the Restless, Clare faced down Audra in a confrontation that resurrected old wounds, tested her new confidence, and pushed Holden into a moment that revealed where his loyalty truly stands. The clash didn't just reopen their rivalry, it shifted their triangle into dangerous new territory and set the stage for the truth Clare still demands. Clare walked into crimson lights. She bumped into Holden and tried to clear the air, hoping to take control of the fallout from their impulsive night in Los Angeles. Instead, she found Audra ready to pounce the moment she sensed vulnerability. What began as a tentative conversation between Clare and Holden quickly morphed into an attack, with Audra weaponizing old mistakes and fresh insecurities. Clare pushed back with a grounded strength she didn't have a year ago, refusing to let Audra dictate the terms of the moment or rewrite history. She admitted she's searching for answers about her choices, about her family, about why LA mattered more than she expected, and she did it without flinching. Holden watched the exchange deepen, realizing both women were pulling him into a fight layered with emotional landmines. When Audra escalated, Holden stepped between them. His instinct to protect Clare landed harder than either woman expected and shifted the dynamic instantly. For the first time, Clare wasn't fighting alone, and Audra knew it. This episode crystallized Clare's delicate evolution from former outsider to someone rebuilding her identity in Genoa City. Her willingness to confront both her past and the people who use it against her is a dramatic shift, one that threatens Audra's ability to control a narrative she's been shaping for months. Holden's response was the real pivot point. By siding with Clare, even subtly, he signaled that their night in LA wasn't something he views as a mistake or a detour. It was a connection. And that connection destabilizes Audra's standing in ways she didn't anticipate. For Clare, Holden's support validated her instincts and deepened her need for direct answers. About him, about their choices, and about what he's still hiding. Holden's intervention left Clare with renewed determination and Audra with a new target. Clare walked away knowing she had leverage she didn't have before, and Holden understood that staying silent was no longer an option. Clare wants honesty, Audra wants control and secrecy. Holden can no longer give both women what they want. The confrontation reshaped all three relationships. Clare won't retreat, Audra won't forget, and Holden won't be able to avoid the truth when Clare comes back demanding the answers she's owed. Melissa Ordway is enjoying the little moments in life. Between work, travel, and family, life is busy for the young and the restless star Melissa Ordway. But the actress always has time for her children. Recently, she and her daughter, Olivia, enjoyed one of their favorite pastimes. While Ordway is famous for her role as Abby on Y&R, her most favorite role is Mom. These days, the actress has a busy schedule, flying back and forth between Nashville and Los Angeles for work. But once she's at home, her attention is focused on her daughters, Olivia and Sophie. Ordway makes sure to enjoy the precious time she has with her children. So recently, when she took her eldest daughter, Olivia, to school, the two decided to have some fun. 1010 recommend having a dance party in the car at school drop-off, Ordway wrote of the Instagram video of the mother-daughter dance-off. While it was fun for Ordway, she also got a bit sentimental. I hope she always remembers these little moments, the ones where it's just us, laughing, dancing, connecting. My heart will never forget them. She captioned the post. The actress then praised Olivia's dance moves in the comments, one of my favorite dance partners. It's no surprise that Olivia inherited her mother's love of dancing. Ordway has been known to showcase her dance moves on the Y&R set alongside her co-stars. In April, the actress had a dance party in the hair and makeup room. While Ordway was the center of attention, Amelia Heinle, Melissa Claire Egan, and Eileen Davidson stole the show with their dance moves. Most recently, Ordway was one of the participants in a Halloween dance at Y&R. Set to Michael Jackson's Thriller, Eric Braeden led his castmates in a recreation of the iconic dance. Among the stars joining Braeden and Ordway were Heinle, Courtney Hope, Brighton James, Crystal Khalil, Christian LeBlanc, Michelle Stafford, and Billy Flynn. Ordway and her co-stars have proved it's always fun in the Y&R studio. Perhaps the next time the cast decides to do a dance-off, Ordway's daughter Olivia can join in. As seen in her mom's latest video, the youngster would be a great fit with the Y&R cast. Fans heavily debated whether Adam Newman has finally redeemed himself. Adam got knocked out by Billy Abbott. He admitted that he's changed and actually feels bad for his arch-nemesis. However, fans of The Young and the Restless don't believe that Adam redeemed himself. That's the question that the Y&R fans have debated over. On one soap opera message board, the original poster noted, "Other than being a caring parent, I find no redeeming qualities in Adam." Adam Newman claims he's a changed man. He credits Chelsea for the way he handled his situation with Billy. Though he taunted him, which warranted a punch in the face, Adam admitted he felt sorry for Billy. The original poster pointed out that Adam is a bully who gets rewarded for his behavior. This was evident in his interaction with Billy, whom he claimed would fail. Other than loving his son, he's a jerk. IMO. I'm worried when Connor grows up, he'll turn into the bully that Victor did to him, the person warned. Most fans agree with the original poster's sentiments. One person wrote, "They have made Adam into a bully. I hate that they have done this to Adam." Someone else asked, "I don't understand why Adam has the need to trade barbs with Billy every time he sees him." Other fans fear that Adam could end up like his father, who's the ultimate bully. He always has to make sure that he wins in the end. One person commented, "Adam has become just a minion for his father right now. His relationship with Chelsea is dull, dull, dull. He had life with Sally, and when he was in conflict with Victor." Not all of the comments were negative. There are some viewers who still love Adam, even when he's chiding Billy. And there are others who think he's just misunderstood, and his weaknesses are just part of his persona. According to the Y&R spoilers, Adam will devise a bold new scheme against Billy. Despite claiming he has changed. Fans are getting tired of his relentless feud with Billy. Another person argued, "I do like Adam. I think a lot of the time his talents are being wasted on pettiness, like when he starts in on Billy. I don't find that entertaining at all." Someone else noted, "Adam is simply at his best when he is on the outs with his family. The minute he gains their acceptance is the minute he turns into them." Adam had a brief moment where he realized he could use Cain's AI program to take down his own father. However, he reverted to being his father's puppet 5 minutes later. Phyllis is making her move on Lily's man. Lily finally got her wish on The Young and the Restless. After failed attempts to reconcile with Lily, Cain is ready to move on. However, Lily will regret her decision to push Cain away when she sees his new lady. Cain and Lily, aka Lane, are one of Y&R's super couples. After the couple's divorce and Cain's departure in 2019, it seemed like that was the end of Lane. But Cain's return earlier this year gave hope of a potential reunion. Cain immediately went to work trying to win back his ex-wife, but Lily gave him the cold shoulder. The Aristotle Dumas debacle and Cain's attempt to take over Genoa City's businesses didn't sit well with Lily. Despite his apologies and promises to change, Lily still wouldn't give her ex-husband the time of day. Their latest encounter helped Cain realize that any love between them is now gone. Since Lily doesn't want him, Cain is turning his attention to Phyllis. The redhead has been getting flirty with Cain and convinced him it was time to cut his losses with Lily. Cain took Phyllis's advice and is ready for a future with Miss Summers. Lily claims she doesn't want anything to do with Cain, but her behavior says otherwise. When she walked in on Cain and Phyllis kissing at society, there was a hint of jealousy. With Cain now out of her life, Lily might realize she's made a terrible mistake and want him back. However, Lily's desire to reunite with Cain will be met with opposition from Phyllis. Now that Phyllis has her hooks in Cain, she's not letting him go. Lily can try all she wants, but when it comes to the battle over Cain, Phyllis has the edge. This isn't Phyllis's first love triangle, and as fans know, she'll go to great lengths to eliminate her competition. Although it looks like trouble for Lily, the businesswoman is fearless and has a strong backbone. If anyone can go toe-to-toe with Phyllis, it's Lily. But the big question in this new Y&R triangle is, what does Cain want? Does his heart still belong to Lily, Or is he ready to put the past behind for a future with Phyllis? Victor and Nick join forces to contain Matt Clark. Jack corners Nikki for the truth. And Cain and Phyllis push their dangerous spark even further. The Young and the Restless spoilers for Tuesday, November 18th tease that Victor and Nick team up to try to keep Matt Clark at bay. Meanwhile, Jack wants answers from Nikki, while Cain and Phyllis heat things up. It's a dramatic day away from Genoa City in Los Angeles. Victor has been busy in Genoa City lately. He used Cain's AI against him and caused some chaos in the business world. However, that doesn't mean that Victor has ignored the woes of Noah and Nick in Los Angeles. In fact, Victor finds the time to help Nick retaliate against Matt Clark. It seems almost unimaginable that the evildoer could continue after facing Newman retaliation, and yet we suspect he will, at least for a while yet. As a result of Victor's business machinations, Jack, Diane, and Kyle are on high alert when it comes to Jabot. There's little doubt that Victor has nefarious plans for Jabot, and the Abbotts are rallying to try to stop Victor. That's likely why Jack interrogates Nikki. After all, Jack and Nikki are friends. Jack even saved Nikki's life not all that long ago, and that's the very reason Victor is gunning for him now. Will Nikki have any answers for Jack? Perhaps. Well, Cain and Phyllis shared a kiss on Friday, and Lily saw it. She seemed entirely through with her ex's efforts to win her back, especially since he was willing to make out with the likes of Phyllis. Cain met back up with Phyllis for drinks after his unproductive talk with Lily. They took things up to Cain's room. Now, Phyllis and Cain turn up the heat. We suspect this unlikely couple will end up sealing the deal. Is there any way this turns into a positive for either one? We doubt it, but perhaps they'll have fun in the meantime. In other news, Holden and Claire reconnect and unpack what went down in Los Angeles. The Monday, November 17th, spoiler photos for The Young and the Restless feature a steamy Phyllis and Cain continuing to connect. Meanwhile, Lily confronts Adam and Chelsea about their scheming, and Holden and Claire clear the air. Phyllis and Cain continue to crank up the closeness as a new week of Y&R episodes begins on Monday. According to the Daily Spoilers, Phyllis and Cain's alliance takes an interesting turn. How far do these two go this coming week? And they are both working angles with this steamy development. But are there genuine feelings as well? Additionally, Cain states that he no longer cares about who stole his AI program, despite suspecting it was either Phyllis, Victor, or both. Is that true? It looks like Cain isn't liking what he's hearing right about now. Or he doesn't care about what he's hearing. What he does know is that his life is in shambles, and he has to piece it back together. There's his connection with Phyllis now. What else does he have planned for Cain Ashby 3.0? Meanwhile, at Society, Lily runs into Adam and Chelsea. Weekly spoilers reveal that Lily confronts them about their scheming, so that means she doesn't appreciate the hit pieces that Newman Media has unleashed about Cain. After all, their hit pieces have hit hers and Cain's kids hard, and she probably doesn't appreciate that at all. While this could be about sticking up for Cain, she could also discuss their hit piece about one of her other exes, Billy. How will Adam and Chelsea respond to Lily? After steaming up things in Los Angeles, Clare and Holden are back in Genoa City. Look for Clare and Holden to clear the air, which might mean Ms. Newman has made a decision about how to move forward with her life. She may tell Holden she wants to pursue something with him, or she could relegate him to the friendship zone. She could say she had fun in LA with him, but she's choosing herself or something like that. And wouldn't you know it? But just as Holden and Clare clear the air at Crimson Lights, Audra runs into them. Will Clare confront Audra about what Holden told her about his sordid past with Audra? Holden did give Audra the heads up, so she should be prepared to handle whatever Clare dishes out to her. This interaction has the potential to get tense and awkward. Young and the Restless spoilers for next week sizzle, and some scary stuff too, because Phyllis Summers is busy getting busy. She is seducing somebody. Plus, Noah Newman is violently assaulted and kidnapped. We've got the latest Y&R spoilers for the week of November 17th. All right, let's start with what is going on with Noah's very worried mom, Sharon Newman. By the end of this week, she is upset to find out Noah went and checked himself out of the hospital without calling or notifying her and his dad, Nick Newman. The hospital tells them, he's an adult and the doctor said he could go, so he went. Sharon and Nick are freaking out when they come to the hospital and see Noah's room is empty. The guard didn't even bother to warn them. That ticks them off understandably. Of course, when Sharon and Nick try repeatedly to call Noah, well, he's not answering their calls. So they head over to the shadow room to confront Mitch Matt Clark. And guess what? That's also where Noah went when he left the hospital. Now, he wasn't looking for Mitch. He was actually looking for Sienna, but that's not who he found. Mitch said he's glad to see Noah on his feet, and he's acting all nice. And then Mitch Matt turns up the heat and confronts Noah about his affair with his wife Sienna. But like all cheaters, of course, Noah denies it. And he claims he and Sienna are just friends. Mitch does not buy it and says Noah repaid his kindness by sleeping with his wife. Mitch calls Noah a liar and a cheat and wants to know if he slept with Sienna in their marriage bed. Then sketchy cop Detective Burrow shows up with questions for Noah about the accident. Burrow wants to take Noah for a drive out to the crash site to see if it jogs his memory, but he doesn't want to go with the detective. He says he's got to go meet his parents, Sharon and Nick. But Burrow says that's not a request. He tells Noah he has no choice. And since Burrow's got a badge, well, off he goes. After the dirty cop takes Noah away, of course, that's when Sharon and Nick show up and confront Mitch. But he plays dumb and says he hasn't seen Noah. And then Mitch further claims he thought Noah was still in the hospital and tells Sharon and Nick that they are not welcome at his club. Sharon and Nick are threatening to force the truth out of Mitch after they ask him where Sienna is and maybe she's seen Noah. So Mitch tells Nick, "I have no idea where Sienna is. And even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you and Sharon. You need to go away." Mitch Matt says that Noah is probably trying to get away from Nick and Sharon because they are annoying helicopter parents, and Nick and Sharon are threatening to call the cops. And Mitch Matt says, "Fine, I'll have you arrested for trespassing and threatening me." And Nick says if Mitch Matt did anything to Noah, he's a dead man. Yet another threat. So next week, we are going to find out what happened after bad guy Detective Burrow took Noah from the shadow room. Looks like Burrow also snatched Sienna because Noah is unconscious and Sienna's trapped with Noah. They're in some sort of room. Looks like they're locked in maybe a cell, probably just some basement room somewhere. And Sienna is trying desperately to wake up Noah. He's very disoriented and is asking Sienna what happened. So I think Mitch Matt had Burrow stash Sienna and Noah so he can torment them later. Elsewhere next week, Sharon is lying down in her hotel room when the fire alarm goes off, and of course she grabs her purse, rushes to get out the door, but when she opens it, guess what? Matt is standing there looking menacing, a little terrifying. Sharon gasps and yells out, "You?" She's all alone. She's at his mercy. So, I wonder if Matt is about to play Pokemon and collect them all. Collect all of his enemies and dump them in that same closet. So, that means Nick might be the next one to go after Matt gets hold of Sharon. I feel like this story is about to jump into hyperdrive as we head into the last week and a half of November sweeps. So Mitch may be dead soon if Sharon gets her way. I mean, Nick's already threatened to kill him. Sharon's threatened to kill him. I feel like the guy is headed for the cemetery. Also at the end of this week at Society, Cain Ashby wants to know if Phyllis is trying to seduce him. And Cain admits that if Phyllis is flirting with him, he would be flattered, he'd be intrigued. And Cain also wants to remind Phyllis he's still in love with Lily Winters. But Phyllis says, "You know what, Cain? That's never going to happen." And Phyllis makes it very clear that she thinks she and Cain are a good match emotionally, professionally, and according to her, sexually. And then Phyllis kisses Cain just as Lily walks in, the queen of timing. Phyllis says she would never ask Cain to change on Young and the Restless, obviously drawing the difference between her and Lily, and then she takes off. So Cain tells Lily that that was nothing. Phyllis is playing games and he's working an angle on her. But Phyllis clearly made an impression on Cain, telling him that he's never going to get with Lily because Cain makes one last try. And Lily rejects him completely, totally, firmly, even though she was just telling Nate Hastings, well, maybe, you know. Cain gets upset and says Lily never loved him as much as he loved her. So, broken-hearted Cain chases down Phyllis at the GKC and Damien Cain tells her she's right. Time for a fresh start. Tells Phyllis he wants to forget the past, focus on the future, and Cain asks Phyllis if she's free tonight. So, next week, Cain is upstairs with Phyllis in her room at the GCS, and she wants to know if she finally has all of his attention. They're making out, the whole tonsil hockey thing. Cain and Phyllis are getting hot and heavy, and unless somebody interrupts, looks like she may get what she wants and hit the sheets with Cain. Also, next week, Claire Grace Newman is telling Holden Novak that they need to talk about what happened in LA. And I'm sure that was them making love on Halloween, and she was getting all wild. And of course, he's got that big crush on her. So, I wonder if Claire is going to put Holden firmly in the friend zone, or maybe Claire tells Holden it was great, but it was a one and done. I mean, Claire already told Victoria Newman that Holden is not the man for her, but that doesn't mean she won't change her mind. Especially because I think Claire is going to find out, Kyle Abbott is going to find out very soon that Claire slept with Holden. And I think Kyle is going to hassle her about having another man in her bed, even though Claire broke up with Kyle and she was completely single. But I think he's going to keep on harping about Holden being a bad man and Claire making bad choices, and that could send her running right back into Holden's arms. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next 2 weeks, November 17th to November 28th, reveal that Detective Annie Stewart will join the LA story while trapped Noah Newman and Sienna Bacall need a rescue. During the week, November 17th to 21st, Cain Ashby and Phyllis Summers will let passion take control in her suite, while Lily Winters defends Cain to Chelsea Lawson and Adam Newman. Later, Lily will find common ground with Holden Novak, but he'll have to prevent a brawl between Claire Newman and Audra Charles first. After Jack Abbott grills Nikki Newman about Victor Newman's AI program plans, Nikki will have some stories to share with Claire. Once the news trickles out to Genoa City that Matt Clark, aka Mitch Bacall, is alive, Claire may turn to Nikki for answers about Matt's history. As for Victor, he'll team up with Nick Newman on a Matt takedown plan. Nick will eventually seek some leverage he can use against Matt, who'll end up facing off with Sharon in her hotel room after a fire alarm blares. While Sharon refuses to let fear take over, Audra will have a similar idea as she schemes against Claire. Despite Claire's partial knowledge of what happened in Los Angeles, Audra will refuse to let Claire think she's got the upper hand. Back in LA, it looks like unconscious Noah will be tossed in captivity with Sienna, who'll wake him up and let him know that they're both in some trouble. Matt will make sure Sienna and Noah land in the trap he's set for them, so stay tuned for updates on what he plans to do to the cheaters. We should also mention that Catherine Kresge will make her Y&R debut as Detective Annie Stewart on November 20th, so she'll no doubt get tangled up in all the criminal chaos. Next, the November 21st episode will bring the start of Christine Blair and Danny Romalotti's 2-day marriage ceremony event. The second part will kick off on November 24th, so the week of November 24-28 will begin on a wonderful wedding note. Danny and Christine's nuptials will bring some exciting returns since Gina Roma and Nina Webster will both come back to help celebrate. Christine will also wear a bridal gown that was chosen by fans on social media, so we'll all be eager to see the dazzling winner. Of course, it wouldn't be a soap wedding without a little drama. Phyllis is a schemer at heart, so she may decide to throw a few final curveballs as Danny and Christine prepare to say, "I do." Once the wedding fun wraps up, there should be more Matt mayhem in Los Angeles. A Noah and Sienna rescue mission may get underway if they can't escape Matt's trap on their own. As for Dirty Detective Burrow, he may have a hard time keeping his shady activities under wraps. That's especially true if Detective Stewart is a by-the-book cop who suspects Burrow is up to no good. Whatever the case, Sharon and Nick will do everything in their power to back Matt into a corner, but they won't keep him down for long. The Young and the Restless spoilers say some twists and turns are still to come on the CBS soap, so don't miss all the action.